Hi guys, this is Mrs. Delise here again. Welcome to another lesson of Algebra 2. Today we're going to be learning complex numbers. A complex number is a number that can be written in the form of a plus b times I, where a and b are real numbers. And of course, I is an imaginary unit. And we can also, complex numbers can also be added, subtracted, and multiplied together. So today we're going to be learning how to add, subtract, and multiply complex numbers. So let us start. We have here 4 minus 6i combined with, so we're going to add all of that to negative 3 plus 2i. And because we're just adding, it's just as easy as combining like terms. So when I say like terms, you know how 6x and 2x are like terms, 3 and 4 are like terms. So in here, those ones with imaginary number or imaginary unit are the ones that are like terms, and the real numbers will be combined. Whew, I said so much things. Let's try that. Let's have, because 4 and negative 3 seems to be the ones that are like terms. So I'll combine those, and then I'll combine negative 6i and 2i. So let's rewrite this so it's easier for us to combine. So I'll have a 4 combined with a negative 3, negative 6i combined with the 2i. So if you notice, I didn't change any number, I didn't change any sign. So the 3 still is a negative, and then the 2i is still a positive. And then I'm going to combine. 4 minus 3 is simple as 1. And then negative 6i plus 2i is a negative 4i. So our final answer is 1 minus 4i. Easy, right? It's not super complicated. So here, let's combine the two real numbers and combine the imaginary unit. So we have, let's put that. Of course, you don't have to write 4 minus 3 when you're actually solving it. You can just, oh, I know 4 minus 3 is 1, right? But just for the sake of being detailed, let's rewrite the equation. So I have negative 4 minus 3 minus 8i plus 5i. So negative 4 minus 3 is a negative 7. You have to be really careful with your negatives, okay? So you have a negative 7, and the negative 8 plus 5 is a negative 3i. So our answer is negative 7 minus 3i. Not bad? Okay, let's move on. And since we already know how to add complex numbers, let's now learn how to subtract complex numbers. The subtraction of complex numbers is a little bit, sometimes it could be confusing because you know how when there is a negative on the parenthesis, it needs to be distributed. Oh, Miss, what are you talking about? For example, you have a 7 minus 11i. So let me rewrite that. I have 7 minus 11i. And you know how we have a negative right here? That means you need to distribute that negative to the two things in the parentheses. Oh, miss, you didn't do that earlier. Why are you doing that right now? Because the one that I have outside the parentheses earlier is just a positive. So it's not really going to do anything to the equation. But now that it's a negative, I would have to distribute that. So that becomes negative 4. That becomes a negative 2i. And of course, you're going to go back to combining like terms. So 7 minus 4 is positive 3. Negative 11i minus 2i is negative 13i. So our final answer is 3 minus 13i. Okay, do not forget to distribute the negative. Let's do another one. We have to distribute that negative right there. So I have a 5 minus 6i, and then I'll distribute the negative. So negative times negative 3, that becomes a positive 3. Negative times another negative, that is a positive 8i. And then I'll combine terms that are the same. I have 5 plus 3, that's 8. I have a negative 6i plus 8i, That is positive 2i. So our answer is 8 plus 2i. Not that bad, right? So we've learned how to add complex numbers, how to subtract complex number. Now let us multiply complex number. So I'll be showing two different methods on how to multiply complex number. First method is the foiling method. And then the next one is what we call the box method. Although you're going to get the same answer, I just would like you to have two options on how to do this. And of course, a lot of you are very familiar with foiling because we did that one already before. So foiling, or some people call it the rainbow method or the distribution method. Okay, let's start. So we should do FOIL method first. Okay, so let me distribute that. So I'll have one. I'm going to be super detailed for now, and then we'll transition into just doing it, by just looking. So I have 1 times negative 5i, 1 time, oh, I skipped a method, you guys. So 1 times 7 and 1 times negative 5i. And then I have 3i times 7 and then 3i times negative 5i. So 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times negative 5i is negative 5i. 3i times 7 is 21i. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Please take note of this. I times I is I squared. And we learn from the previous lesson, the imaginary unit lesson, that whenever we see an I squared is equal to a negative 1. And so oh, I would have to put negative 15 times negative 1, and that is the equivalent of I squared, okay? And I squared times negative, because I times I squared is a negative 1. And negative 15 times negative 1 is positive 15. And so, let us combine like terms. I think I can combine this two, correct? And then I could also combine, let's change the color, these two. So let's combine the 7 and the 15 first, okay? And so if we combine 7 and 15, we'll get 22. Where should we put that answer? Right here. So we get 22. And then let's combine this two right here. Negative 5i plus 21i is 16i. So our final answer is 22 plus 16i. Not bad. Okay? So in here, on this example, I'm going to show you also how to FOIL. And then on the next two, I'm going to show you how to do box method. Okay, so that's 2 times 3, 2 times 3, 2 times negative 2i, negative 4i times 3, negative 4i times negative 2i. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times negative 2i is negative 4i. Negative 4i times 3, negative 12i. Negative 4 times negative 2, that's a positive 8. I times I is an I squared, and we already know that I squared is a negative 1. So this is 8 times negative 1. So that is a negative 8. Now let's combine like terms. Let's combine the 6 and a negative 8. Combine the two ones in the middle. So let's combine that real number. 6 minus 8. Or you could also write them like this. 6 minus 8 minus 4i minus 12i. So you can just, see all of them. So that's a negative 2 and negative 4 and a negative 12. That is a what? Negative 16. So our answer is negative 2 minus 16i. Okay, not that bad, right? So I'm going to do letter C. But this time, I'm going to do a box method. But again, you could still do a FOIL method. I'm just showing another way of solving it, just in case other people would need it or other students would need it. Okay? So this is how we will do a box method as an alternative to doiling what I did earlier. So I could write the box. Let's draw. Oh, I seem to. Okay, there you go. All right. So I'm gonna put. Let's change the color. 1 and 4i, and then over here on the corner, let's have 3 minus 6i, and of course we're multiplying all of them. And so just like the multiplication table when you were in elementary, 1 times 3. So the one that goes here is a combination of if you multiply these two numbers. So 1 times 3 will give you a 3. 4i times 3 will give you a 12i. 1 times negative 6i, sorry, is negative 6i. And finally, 4i and negative 6i is negative 24i squared. And then let's put them all together. I have 3 plus 12i minus 6i minus 24i squared. And then 3, I think I can combine this one now, right? The 12 minus 6i, of course, that's just positive 6i minus 24. And remember, I squared is a negative 1. So moving on forward there, you have 3 plus 6i plus 24, because negative 24 times negative 1 is a positive 24. And so your final answer is 27 plus 6i, combining 3 and 24. Okay, do you guys like the box, or you would stick to the foiling method? Let's have another example using the box method. Again, I would like to repeat, you could always use the foiling method, rainbow method, the distribution method. Okay, I'll put, what's this? 3 minus 5i, 4 and 6i. 3 times 4 is 12, negative 5i times 4, negative 20i. 3 times, that's 18i. Negative 5 times 6 is a negative 30i. And don't forget the squared. A lot of people always forget the part where negative 5 times 6i is, I times I is an I squared. Okay? So let us move forward. We have, what do we have here? 12 minus 20i, 18i minus 30i squared. Okay? So you're gonna end up with 12, and I think you can combine, let me highlight this one. You can combine this two right now, right? And so when you don't forget that when you combine like terms, because a lot of people when they combine like terms, they would say that, because that is an I and an I, that is an I squared also. But please note that, oh, this is not a negative, this is a positive 18. Okay? And so don't forget that you are not combining I and you put 2i, or I and I squared. You're just adding that, so you're just copying the like terms. So that's negative 2i minus 30, and I think 30 negative 1 because I squared, right? So remember, I squared is a negative 1. So 12 minus 2i plus 30. So you can combine those two, because negative 30 times negative 1 is a positive 30. So our final answer is 42 minus 2i. Okay, are we good? Is this easy? I hope it is easy. For your homework, I would like you to go to page 21 and just do the odd numbers. So we answer number 1, number 3, So number one is addition of complex number. Number three is subtraction of complex number. Then we have 5 multiplication. Oh, I'm giving you 2 multiplication just in case. So 1, 3, 5, and 7. Okay? Thank you guys, and I hope you've learned something new today. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will see you on the next video. Bye.